In progress. Royal
No,
Rumble.
they won. It just ended.
It just ended. You should be focused on the show and not watching Royal highlights.
You are into the Royals.
My goodness. Sean Payton said goodbye to Russell Wilson, hello to Zach Wilson, and has now drafted Bo Nix from Oregon. Here's Peyton on the pick.
Early into the process, shortly after these workouts like this, he stood out in a lot of areas, you know, and you pay close attention to all the film study and you know, obviously he's played a lot of football, but you know, sack differential, turnover differential, accuracy, third down passing, first in this class.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, listen. I mean, everyone could. I shouldn't say everyone. We saw this coming. The Broncos had to come out of this draft with a quarterback. Unfortunately for them, maybe because he played 6 years of college football, they wanted the sixth quarterback off the board. I don't know. But it is a damn near magic trick to, a week ago, Brew, have a quarterback room where the best quarterback was Jarrett Stidham. And in that next week, spend multiple draft picks, including the 12th overall, on two other quarterbacks to bring them into that room. And now they sit here and the best quarterback in the room is Jarrett Stidham. I didn't think it could be done, but they managed to find a way. But Sean Payton's, now, Brew, to your point, still in the Shador sweepstakes. Well, so that's good for them. Like, I mean, so in that regard, but I mean, good luck, Denver. I mean, this feels like in the long line of Locke, Lynch, Osweiler, Tebow, these guys they've overdrafted in the first or second round trying to figure out the quarterback situation post Elway, not Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got to get a quarterback. And if they don't want to go with my plan, tank and get Shador next year, it might work out that way anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But, you know, you hear the comparisons to Drew Brees. Okay, let's see if, you know, he's the guy to help make Drew Brees. So let's see if he can.
Okay, I want to pause real fast, and I really want to hear what Mangini has to say. And honestly, the guy who I'm going to listen to a lot in terms of drafts and the draft picks is O'Shea, you know, so subscriber on here. Because like, I always admit that I do not know drafts. I only know college football so well. I'm way more confident once players are actually in the league and breaking that stuff down. So the thing that stands out to me though is the arrogance and the confidence, which aren't, you know, necessarily the same thing. They're so confident, especially even like Brew. I understand Nick's whole, you know, thing because he's a Chiefs fan, obviously, and so, you know, by default, he hates Denver and wants to see them fail. I get that. But he says, you know, now Bruce says, oh, you know, I guess, you know, Sean Payton, I guess, made some sort of, or whoever made some sort of comparison about Drew Brees. And, you know, Brew now scoffs at that, which is fine. But Brew then also says that Brock Purdy is, you know, his ceiling is Drew Brees. And Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. So I just don't understand why everyone would be so confident in saying Bo Nix is not a good quarterback. Or, yeah, right, he has got no chance. Because before anyone saw anything about Brock Purdy in the NFL, if he was drafted 12 rather than last, Brock Purdy now, no, and we said, and Shanahan said, hey, this guy's a legit guy. We're moving on from Trey Lance. We're taking Brock Purdy. We could see we can get him at 12 or 11 or wherever. And so, you know, we want to go get him. I think he could actually be kind of like a Drew Brees kind of guy. Everybody would lose their mind. Everyone. Brew included. Nick Wright. They would all be like, this guy out of wherever in college, blah, 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 4 years, this, that. You think Brock Purdy is going to be Drew Brees? Good luck getting to a Super Bowl. I don't know why you're not at least trying to see what happens with Trey Lance. And then there you go. The guy goes to back-to-back NFC Championship games, obviously gets to a Super Bowl, and is a play away from winning. So I don't understand why. That's why I don't like drafts. You know, the pre-draft and stuff, and leading up to it, and the draft boards, the mock drafts, because the mock drafts are like, you know, Nick Wright said, I got the most accurate draft board out there, and yet he got like 6 or 7 correct, you know, and which is not good. So, and then this idea that everyone's so confident that once these picks are picked, this guy is going to be big. This guy isn't. They just have no idea. So, again, I'm not going to sit here and say, Bo Nix is not going to, yeah, right. He's not even going to be able to last in the league. He's a backup quarterback. I have no idea. Because if Bo Nix balls out, no one thought Patrick Mahomes was going to be Patrick Mahomes. They just didn't. I don't care what anyone says. They just did not truly know Patrick Mahomes was going to be the Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, the most famous one is Tom Brady. No one knew Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady. No one knew Drew Brees was going to be what Drew Brees ended up. We could say that we thought these quarterbacks were going to be good, but not what they all ultimately became. Okay? No one thought Eli Manning was going to win 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots. No one thought that, especially after he was in the league for a bit. No one thought that Jalen Hurts was going to actually be a starter and get that gajillion-dollar contract. You know? He was a second-round draft pick behind Carson Wentz. And it was just like, why are they doing this? Just to do like some weird wildcat matchups. And he's a good backup quarterback because Carson Wentz has an injury history. No one thought that he was going to lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl. Also a play away from winning. You know, obviously no one thought Brock Purdy was going to do what he's done. So I don't get it. And then you have other people that say Russell Wilson's going to be king. And he had success, but did he end up being the king? No. No one thought Dak Prescott was going to be who Dak Prescott was. And I've railed on Dak Prescott, but he's obviously a successful quarterback. He's obviously capable of being in the NFL and being a starter. You know, so I don't get why people are so strong with their opinions, like they have a crystal ball. That is my issue when it comes to some of these. I get some of the hype, right? Getting behind a Caleb Williams hype. Like, I get that because it's also more enjoyable to support these guys coming out of college and saying, like, hey, they have some really exciting stuff. I think they'll be good. But to automatically pull someone down, that I don't actually get. I really, really don't. Now, if these people had behavioral issues and had trouble on and off the field and stuff like that, then to me that's more fair game. But in terms of like their actual skill set, you know, Colin Cowherd was praising Kenny Pickett, saying he's a great guy. That the Pittsburgh Steelers know what they have in the building because he plays for Pitt, yada yada yada. And now he's like, Kenny Pickett's not the guy. He's not good. You gotta move on from him. You know, he was railing that Jordan Love was garbage and needs to be cast aside. And now he's praising Jordan Love. No one thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be Aaron Rodgers. So the whole thing to me is just a joke, honestly.
You can do something with him, but it's underwhelming.
Yeah, this felt like the ultimate shopping hungry, where they had to get a quarterback, and this is who was left. And I was watching the reaction of the draft room. I don't know, can we bring that up? And as you watch it, and just see the like half-hearted hug. This felt like Christmas when I used to get clothes instead of like an Xbox. And you're like, oh, okay. And typically, when you're excited about the player that you got, you get down there and like, I can't believe he was still on the board. We got so lucky. This is the guy we've targeted all along. And there were very compelling statistics that he brought up. And then Bo Nix has a lot of really impressive statistics, but you just didn't feel the energy from the room or from Sean to say, like, we solved our problem. Yeah. We moved on from Russell. We feel great about this decision. Yeah. We added Zach as an insurance policy, and away we.
Well, and I do agree with that because again, I'm not going to sit here and predict what's a good draft or not. But I do agree with what he's saying there in terms of, especially because that's what I was thinking when I was watching Sean Payton go through all the statistics. It was almost like he was just trying to sell the room of this, right? And sell himself as well. He's like, well, like it wasn't actually his decision, and it just got passed down to him, and you know that was what the draft was. And he's like, well, you know, this is a good pick, and these are the reasons why. Like he was debating the point, but like not the point that he actually fully believed in. Which again, but
I'm going to need a fact check on the age Coach was when Xbox came out, because I'm not certain if that was ever like on your actual Christmas
It was
list.
Atari.
But you know what? In the spirit of this discussion, it's good to tell untruths because there is this courtesy of Adam Schefter quote from Sean Payton. And I'm not saying he's not telling the truth. I'm just going to read it to you. Sean Payton wanted and didn't draft Patrick Mahomes 2017. He had 11th pick. He was ready to turn in the card before he could. Chiefs traded up to the Bills spot at number 10, took him, leaving the Saints draft Marshawn Lattimore. Payton feels as strongly about Bo Nix as he did Patrick Mahomes. And that's the old, is it worse to be telling the truth there or lying? Because if you're lying, you're lying. If you're telling the truth, it's like, really? That's your evaluation? But either way, Wilds, you know what it means.
Board time.
Friend of the show, Sean Payton, you're on the board, my friend.
All right, I don't care about that. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, like the common theme for any of these videos, right immediately after the draft is just I do not know, and I think I find it really funny that the actual experts, the people that are actually evaluating the talent, that are making these decisions, the ones who have very high success rates and who are actually making these moves, they still fail at a remarkably high level. And yet now these guys on the table, whether it be First Take, First Things First, Colin Cowherd, wherever, they're so confident that they can evaluate this talent. And I find it funny. I really, really do. I have no idea if Bo Nix will be successful or not. And I'm confident that Nick Wright, Broussard, Colin, Stephen A. Smith, any of these guys, I'm very confident that they also have no idea who's going to be successful and who's not. But those are just my thoughts. I know it's very unsexy thoughts, but hey, I try to keep it as real as I possibly can. I would absolutely love to hear yours. You guys are all the geniuses out there. Let me know. Do you think that Bo Nix was a reach by Denver? Or do you think, hey, he's a good quarterback and they can make some moves? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. I was going to say it helps with the business. Helps with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.